This is my audience, Brian Shornack and Andy Hendricks. Hi, I'm William Ayers. News of the BP oil spill rocked the nation. Wars are being fought for oil rights, and the fear of global warming is becoming more real every day. We all use fuel. We use it to power our vehicles, to heat our homes, and we depend on it to keep our society running. I have paid close attention to the gas prices over the last half-decade and researched alternative ways to get from A to B. After extensive research about alternative fuels, I have come to the conclusion that there is a better way, as long as we all do it together. Our country could vastly decrease our dependence on oil and increase our economy with the use of corn ethanol. All we have to do is act. Today I will go over the benefits of using corn ethanol as a better renewable fuel for our vehicles and homes, and hopefully persuade you to become part of the change. Corn ethanol is a huge economic opportunity for our country. The United States started to look at ethanol after the second oil crisis in 1979. According to Wang, a writer for the Environmental Research Letters, ethanol is usually produced in countries that have a surplus of agricultural commodities, natural resources, high greenhouse emissions, and a high dependency on important foreign oil, which is why the United States is perfect for one of these countries. A caption of the book, Ethanol from Corn, Clean Renewable Future for the Future, or a Drain on Our Resources and Pockets, written by Campos Paztec, stated that the United States alone has 9 good corn-producing states, such as Minnesota and South Dakota, and others. These states account for 79 to 92% of U.S. corn and ethanol production. Farming productivity has increased tremendously because of the use of ethanol and corn ethanol has increased. Corn ethanol lessens our dependence on foreign oil and it reduces greenhouse gas emissions. Now with new plants being built with better technology, emissions are getting substantially lowered. Liska, a writer for the Journal of Industrial Ecology, said, ethanol supports over 400,000 jobs around the country and contributes $53.6 billion to our nation's GDP. This is my first visual aid. It is a pie graph of the federal spending on alternative fuels. The blue here is ethanol with 76%. The yellow is solar wind or geothermal with 19%, and 5% is the biodiesel. To furthermore help our country, we need to reduce our huge need for foreign oil. If we as a country decide to use more corn ethanol, it will vastly decrease our dependence for foreign oil. This is my second visual aid. It's the sources of the U.S.'s net petroleum imports. As you can see, almost half is from the Western Hemisphere, which is the Middle East. Our addiction to foreign oil is absurd. It's an $821 million a day problem. That is $300 billion a year, or in other terms, about $1,000 for every man, woman, and even child. The total cost is more than the wars in Iraq and Afghanistan. This is about 60% of the U.S. trade deficit. All of that American money is going overseas, even though our country has desperate need for it. And this time of recession and job loss, it would be enough to hire 3 million Americans who could make $100,000 a year, and 8 million Americans who could make $40,000 a year. Shapuri, who wrote on the Biomass Research and Development Technical Advisory Committee, stated that when prices for oil rose to over $75, the amount of ethanol and gasoline started to increase. Now, because ethanol is made in the United States, that allows the American economy to keep $26 billion that would have been used for foreign oil. Clark, a writer for the Washington Monthly, said, "Some states are providing assistance to commercial firms that are converting their gas stations to higher blends of ethanol fuel. All of those new technologies need to be invented and produced, which will lead to new jobs for all those unemployed Americans. It's time for the U.S. to produce and use their own fuel and get away from our dependence to foreign oil and start using all that money making a better America. No American wants to see how much money is getting spent on foreign oil when Americans are out of jobs and people can't afford a college education. The only way to make this a reality is to spread the word." Using more corn ethanol would be a big change, and we would all have to do it together. It starts with you. Mosier, author of the manuscript How Fuel Ethanol is Made from Corn, once said, "If we wanted something to change, our government representatives need to know our position on the issue. Spreading the word is an easy and effective way to create change." The National Corn Growers Association is one of the many organizations that is striving to achieve a cleaner, local alternative to oil. Their website has a list of different people to write to show your support to the renewable fuels such as corn ethanol. People need to support ethanol policies not only because it will lower emissions, but because ethanol can be made in the United States. I know realistically that individually I might not achieve a lot, but by showing my support and working with people that are part of these groups, more can be achieved. Participation can not only be done by high corporations, but by normal communities such as Fargo. Just by getting the word out, we can prick people's interest, and maybe they too will start to participate and join these interest groups. With teamwork, we can make a difference in our economy and our environment. By spreading the word and using more corn ethanol, we can create thousands of jobs in our country and reduce the need for foreign oil, saving trillions of dollars. Today, we have seen how the research, development, and production of this ultimate fuel would create thousands of jobs for Americans, increase our economy by keeping billions of dollars spent on fuels inside our country, and ultimately reduce our dependency on foreign oil. By using more corn ethanol, we could substantially improve our fuel cost, our trade deficit, and our gas prices. Thank you.